The first work that I'm going to be talking about from Austria is M. So fun. The specific country of work is actually Montreal, Canada. This location that we saw it at was Volkstheater in Vienna, Austria. The artist responsible for the work is Marie Chaunard. She's a choreographer, and her nationality is Canadian, French-Canadian. Medium work is dance, specifically experimental ballet. And the period of work is contemporary. And the historical relevance of the work is I'm just lumping it in with all of experimental dance because there's not anything I couldn't really find a lot of information specifically on this dance, so I'm just kind of doing all of experimental dance with this segment right now. So experimental began in the 20th century in the United States, I think, as a breakaway from typical dance styles such as ballet. The style explores the images, sounds, concepts, and revelations and complexities of our time. It's more meant to engage the audience and to make you like step back from your life and to explore new concepts and mediums to be used within the dance and performances. How long did it take to create is unknown. The first teaser I could find for it didn't have like the proper costumes and everything, so I'm assuming they were still getting it together, was October 15th, 2022, but performances presumably began in early 2023. The defining characteristics of this work, I'm going to start with a quote from Nancy Berman for the Montreal Rampage, because I think it encapsulates at least my views pretty well. I was watching Marie Chaunard's latest creation. M is like having a fever dream where AI teaches cute mechanical dolls how to dance like humans. It's simultaneously engrossing and off-putting, fascinating and annoying, too long but potentially endless. I think that encapsulates it pretty well. But actually technically there's 12 dancers that perform in brightly colored wigs and pants and are topless, and the pants and colors coordinate with other performers and you see them dancing with each other at parts during it. And the only noises used are their breath onto a little microphone that they bring up to God-ish, I'm assuming, some type of universe that they shoot it up. But it starts with a rain sound and it's stopped by their breath, and then when they stop doing the breath, they restart the rain. Yep, that's really cool. And they mostly move either in different parts of it, they move like as individuals, and in certain parts they move like within a troupe. It's kind of like a gradient, like it's like a hill almost, with singular slow and then absolutely crazy and then slows down again near the end, even though the end happened like 3 different times. Anyway, sorry, tangent. The historical contributions of the artist. Chaunard spent 12 years as a solo performer and choreographer and went on to find her own company that's self-titled in 1990. In 1988, she was one of the 3 people to introduce Impulstanz in Vienna, which was the international dance festival that M was a part of. My personal observation is that honestly, by like halfway through, seeing the women topless didn't even cross my mind. It just kind of felt normal. Just kind of how I feel with all the art here. Like, all the women are pretty much naked in all the artwork, and I'm like pretty used to it. So at first I was like, whoa, when I saw it on the screens outside, and then halfway through I realized that I didn't even really notice it anymore. And I chose this work because it was honestly one of the most insane things I've ever seen, and I was not like prepared for it. I feel like it wouldn't have hit me this hard if I was prepared for it, but I wasn't. So it kind of left a little mark. How does it fit in? And how does it compare to other works within the period? It fits in pretty much just right. It's a bit more colorful and dramatic than a lot of like contemporary dance, but in experimental dance, it fits in pretty well with the certain movements and it trying to be interactive with the audience and exploring different medias, like making the actual sounds on stage instead of like a pre-recorded thing. Fun fact is that this is Chaunard. Also, she's French. I don't speak French. I'm probably butchering her last name. This is Chaunard's first ensemble piece in 30 years.